That's actually a topic I did mean to ask you about earlier. Was Japan? I've never been to Japan, so I've been to Korea and China several times, but never been to Japan. And I think it's a whole different deal. When you first got there, what were the biggest differences to you from being in America?
Oh, absolutely. The public transportation. In Japan, the train systems are just on a different level. You can get anywhere you want in the country on the train. Never have to worry about anything. Where I was living, I could get on a train and be in Tokyo in 30 minutes, have a couple drinks, not have to worry about driving back. Cost me maybe $5 for the to and from trip with the train. Super safe, super clean.
Is that the main thing? That's pretty much it. Was the trains?
That was I mean, obviously
How do they treat you as a foreigner?
Mostly respectfully, I think. There's some apprehension with the elderly sometimes, it felt like, but most of the youth especially seem to be very accepting of foreigners.
Do most of them? I would assume in the cities, most of them speak some English. Is that kind of how it is? And then when you go out rural, I guess it's less so.
Right. So actually, they teach English in their high schools as a mandatory curriculum. So most of the people you'll encounter in Japan can either speak a little bit of English or enough to get by.
Yeah. That's kind of how Korea and China was in the cities. So like when I was in Seoul, Korea, they almost everybody we encountered, it was very modern and they almost all spoke English to some degree. Better than my Korean for sure. And then Beijing was similar. Then Beijing, there was people, it was less, but they still had folks that would speak English. But then when we would go out in the rural areas, less so. They were, mostly just speaking their native tongue. So it's probably similar to around here. You go to big cities, I'm sure you can find people here that are, maybe have more than bilingual, more than one language. And I think that's kind of the way it is around most of the world now. Is that the only other place you were stationed other than here was Japan?
Yes, I've also visited England, Ireland, and Wales, but station was Japan.
How did they treat you in England, Ireland, and Wales?
Well, I was like 16 at the time.
Oh, so you don't remember.
So
I asked to compare it because I've heard that we get treated pretty bad over there. In England, they're kind of rude to Americans.
well, probably, but it was like a guided tour thing, so it was really like close knit and just seeing the sights.
I think they still are kind of butthurt that we whooped them.
Oh, the way from 1776.
Yeah. They're still holding a grudge, man.
They're still holding that L.
Yeah. That's okay. I'll rub it into them when I go over there. In Japan, did you do any martial arts?
No, just a lot of sightseeing, eating a lot of different foods, visiting the monuments, shrines, stuff like that. It was a little bit of partying in Tokyo. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I bet.